I have, in a lot of ways, always preferred fantasy worlds to the real one. Not as an escape exactly, but as a way to enter places that feel both more magical and more logical than our own. In the worlds I grew up reading about, Middle-earth and Narnia and the Four Lands, there was so much wonder and mystery, but there was also certainty. Those mysteries would be solved. Wrongs would be put right. There might be great sorrow along the way, but the heroes would always win. As I got older, some of my tastes in fantasy changed. Instead of Terry Brooks, I found myself reading Jeff Vandermeer and K.J. Bishop. I was drawn to the strangest corners of the genre, always looking for something new and exciting. Perhaps that is, in a lot of ways, a symptom of being a teenager, when the whole world is new and strange, and yet also beginning to be within your grasp. Finding stories that are even stranger is somehow comforting. It's a reminder that even those things we can never hope to understand shouldn't be shied away from, and that we should always fight for what's right. I have, I think, always used fiction to make sense of the world around me. Perhaps it's ironic that I'm consistently drawn to fantasy then, which is so often labelled as escapist and not worth a sensible person's time. Both as a reader and a writer, I've always found stories with magic at their core to be more compelling than all the rest. As an adult, this contradiction continues to fascinate me. Of course I'm looking for stories that attempt to make sense of human nature, and perhaps allow me to feel a little less lost and alone. But I prefer those stories to do so in worlds I don't immediately understand, that through their strangeness hold up a mirror to our own eccentricities, and so allow us to understand them better. And I also find that I'm constantly looking for that mystery, that inventiveness, and above all that sense of wonder that's frequently missing in modern life. Every place and every way of living is immediately available to us online, even if that accessibility only allows us to scratch the surface. So much of fantasy, on the other hand, digs deeper, bringing the magical and thus our imaginations to life. Perhaps what I'm really reaching towards is the past. Not that pastiche of medieval Europe that has been rightly derided in the less thoughtful parts of the genre, but instead something older than that, something more primal. It's what I was also chasing in my year studying archaeology. Not necessarily just to understand the past, although that's compelling in its own right, and something I wish more people would attempt, but rather to connect to something bigger than myself, and to feel that there's more to life than what we can sum up in internet memes and flashing pixels. I'm not going to claim that's what my own writing achieves. It would take a bigger head than mine to go into writing any fiction, fantasy or otherwise, with the intention of solving the mysteries of the universe. But we can still reach towards those things, and we can still search for the wonder and the joy that we're increasingly losing sight of. So, that's what fantasy means to me. It's both understanding the world and embracing the mystery, connecting to our human selves and to our human past. It's magic and adventure and heroism, shining a light into dark corners and looking for good in the world, even when the shadows are at their thickest. And through it all, it's a sense of awe and wonder, constantly finding something to impress us, though the modern world so often tells us to be jaded. I would love to know, in the comments, what fantasy means to you, and I'd love it if you joined me on this journey too. There are so many tales to be told, both of this world and others, and I hope you'll find some joy in the telling.